Want to see
I
the...
need light too.
All right, a little introduction on zero beating onto an AM station with DX100.
Okay, we have a recently refurbished, tested, laying on of hands DX100. Gone through it and repaired it. We've got videos elsewhere on YouTube showing the repair of this unit.
And it's going to this happy camper right here.
To this guy, KF7UND.
Hello there.
So we're just going to turn on the power here. We're going to go through a alignment. Not alignment, but a setup. I've got everything set at neutral. And we're going to use the variable frequency oscillator, the variable device to set the frequency. I have a receiver running in the background. And initially we're going to turn on the unit to CW position, which is going to actually start up the oscillator inside the radio. And can you pause that, Des? Oh, no, you don't need to. Okay, and we're going to peak, find our grid drive here by going to CW position. That turns on the oscillator. Grid position, 5 milliamps roughly. We can set the 5 milliamps worth of grid drive exactly by using this control down right here. This is a drive control, and this is the signal that's driving the final power tubes of the transmitter.
Should be about what reading?
About 5 milliamps would be the lower scale. Then we're going to turn the unit to phone. We can key the radio briefly, and oh yes, we're drawing current. And we quickly, very quickly, find a dip in the plate current. We want to dip the plate current down as low as it'll go, as quickly as possible. There we go, there's our dip. Okay, now that means we found the resonant point of the final power amplifier.
And you dipped by keying up the microphone.
Keyed the microphone and adjusted the amplifier.
And what should the reading be?
Well, we ultimately want about 240 milliamperes, which would be the top scale.
And you were dipping the plate?
Well, it says amplifier, but yes, the plate of the final power tube is what we're dipping.
Just mention that because your switch on your gauge says plate. That's all.
Well, plate is the what's being metered.
Right.
Okay, and the amplifier, plate amplifier is synonymous. Okay, so we key up, and now we're going to increase the loading of the signal, which is coupling power out of the final power tubes to the antenna circuit.
How do you know your grid was appropriately driven?
Well, because in the grid position, the book says 5 milliamps. And
oh, okay.
5 milliamps under load, of course. And it's there.
So you want to peak your grid first and then dip your plate?
Yep.
Okay.
Just, in fact, every novice is taught that.
Yep.
Yep.
Peak and dip.
That's right, peak and dip. Okay, so there's your dip, and I'm going to increase loading. That helps, but nowhere near. A little bit more. That helps, nowhere near. A little bit more loading. Ah, we're getting there. We're almost 240. So we'll dip again, and we're about 230. And this is the fine tuning. This red knob is the fine tuning. And we can bring it all the way up to 240 with this red knob. Check our dip again, and dip is right on. Check our grid drive again, grid drive is right on. So we are good to transmit. And we've got power output on the meter. And we're looking at the modulation scope, and it shows that we have the correct amount of display to check modulation. And so I'm going to increase the audio control while I'm talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can you shade?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Shade
1, 2,
that.
3, 4, 5. And you can see that we're actually over-modulating a little bit. We've got just a little bit too much. And how can we tell? Well, we can tell because we're seeing our display hit what they call the baseline.
So
and it hits it hard enough to create a little bit of a line.
Overlapped.
Yeah, so we want to back this down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5, still hitting the baseline. 5, 5, 5. Now we're hitting it, but you notice that we're not leaving any little traces in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you want to correlate that with something, look at your modulation, and you'll notice the modulator doesn't really peak more than 10 on the modulation scale here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to transmit. You want to check your plate voltage just to make sure you're running the right plate voltage. There's 800 volts of plate voltage under load, which indicates a very, very healthy power supply. And plate current looks good, grid current looks good, so we basically are there. Now, do we want to try and zero beat a signal?
Yes.
Wait, go.
So if we want to zero beat the VFO, there's a position, there's crystal positions, there's VFO position. VFO is variable frequency oscillator. This is the control for variable frequency oscillator. To activate it, we can turn on the CW position. We look at the grid drive. Yep, got grid drive. You got to make sure you got a meter reading, otherwise there's nothing to hear. And we can try and find the signal on our monitor. We're listening on the monitor right now. There it is. And we adjust it till the very lowest point.
Is your monitor on sideband?
Monitor is on sideband. If you're on CW, you'll be able to hear both sides of the signal, which we can do. No, I guess not. I guess they're using the sideband filter. Anyway, go for the lowest pitch, or until the signal just disappears. And now we're zero beating. The other thing you can do is, if going back to phone now means we're ready to rock and roll. The other thing that we can do is that when we're talking to somebody on AM, we can also go to CW mode, and we need to fish around with a variable frequency oscillator until we zero beat the AM signal. So your monitor receiver would be in AM mode. You'd be listening to the AM signal, and when your VFO puts a signal on top of him, you're going to get a beat note, and then you adjust the variable frequency oscillator until the beat note disappears. That means you're exactly on whoever it is that you're listening to, you're exactly on his frequency.
Now, when you want to do that in terms of power application, are you just saying that you're doing a zero beat to an AM station using the CW mode but not keying it up?
Absolutely. You don't want to key the guy up,
or
because
you'll
you'll
be
be
over
transmitting
him
on top of it.
Right, so you
which
just
will hack him off. And hack off anybody.
got it. Just
Okay,
wanna
so
make that
this
point.
this is done with just the local oscillator that's actually in the box, not putting out any power at all, but putting out just enough of a signal to be picked up on your local speaker, on your local monitor receiver. So there you go.